My name is Barry Harris. I'm KCAI Dog Trainer of the Year. I'm a dog trainer and behaviourist. I run Happy Hounds Training Academy along with my partner Holly and a fantastic team of staff. What I'm going to speak to you about is the proposals for Wirral Borough Council on the Public Space Protection Orders, PSPOs, that they're hoping to bring in, and how that's going to affect not only our health but the health and the well-being of our dogs. So being a dog trainer, I understand the need for meeting all of our dogs' requirements. Part of those requirements is off-lead activity. It's the ability for a dog to be able to do exactly what they would do if we weren't interfering with them. Dogs weren't brought into this world to be walked around on lead, so they require off-lead access. And if these restrictions are brought in by Wirral Borough Council, that will restrict our access to off-lead areas, being parks, beaches, playing fields, and it's going to have an effect on our dogs' behaviour. Dogs can be very reactive on lead. I've seen it for thousands and thousands of times over the years, where a dog is allowed off-lead access, so it becomes very reactive on the lead, be it barking at people or dogs or car chasing, all those kind of things. So with the right kind of training and the right kind of activity levels, often these behaviours will be reduced, if not stopped completely. If the council proposals for the PSPOs go ahead, what that's going to do is restrict our access to a lot of public spaces. Free spaces that we're allowed to walk our dogs currently, and that will be for sometimes for 10 months of the year, sometimes it will be complete bans, whether the areas are being in use or not. And the clever thinking behind the council is that if they restrict dogs' access to these places, that they will create areas where there's no longer problem dogs. That isn't going to happen. There are problem dogs currently. There are laws in place which state that we should be picking up after our dogs, that our dogs should be on leads in certain places, that our dogs should be under control. So there's the Control of Dogs Act 1992, which states that your dog is classed as dangerously out of control. Should you not be able to call your dog back, that requires you to be able to call your dog back. Should it be running up to another dog and the owner's saying to you, can you get your dog back? It might be that dog is on lead and is reactive and they don't want your dog running over to it. So you should be able to call your dog back. If you can't, your dog is classed under that same act as out of control, which could result in you being fined or having the dog taken off you. And that could be, jumping up at people. It covers all kinds. Now, these orders, acts, if you like, are already in place. The problem I've got is nobody's enforcing them. They've been around since 1992, and yet I am yet to see a dog warden on the beach enforcing these restrictions. Making sure that dog owners are picking up after themselves, making sure that the dog isn't out of control, making sure that dogs aren't running up to children or going into picnic areas. Walking along the main roads is another prime example I see where dogs are off lead walking along the main road. There's a law in place that says that the council, dog wardens, can act and fine those particular people. So not picking up after your dog. There's a law in place at the moment that says that the council can fine you between £50 and £80. Should you not pay that fine can rise to £1,000. But it's not being implemented by the council. Bringing in new laws is a way for the council to start fining what I believe to be responsible dog owners. The people are out there using these areas now, not when it's sunny, we use them 24/7. You know, we're there at midnight because it's too hot, or we're there early morning before it rains, or we're there early morning before it starts to get too hot, or before we have to go to work. And if the council get its way, we won't be able to use those areas at certain times of the year. So 10 months of the year, I couldn't walk my dogs down to the beach that I walk at, because the council have decided that I'm no longer allowed to do that. Now, I'm a responsible dog owner. I pick up after my dogs. If I see another dog on leads, I put my dog back on leads. So yeah, I get frustrated that the council are trying to prevent me from giving my dogs the activity levels that I currently give them. And this is going to be the same for a lot of responsible dog owners out there currently. If you've got a dog and you pick up after your dog and you put your dog back on a lead, then the new proposals are going to hurt you. It's not these people that are taking their dogs and not picking up after them, not putting them on leads. It's not going to affect them. They'll still do it. They'll just make sure that obviously they've got eyes around them and keeping an eye, and just disappear as soon as there's a problem or there's a dog walking. It's the people that are taking these responsibilities that might get caught out. You know, their dog ventures into a football playing field, even if it's not in use. They're the people that are going to get fined. And it's, you know, it's not small fines, it's £100. And there was a study done by Simon et al. In 2010 that states that children between the ages of 10 and 12 would often take their dogs to local parks to get some off-lead activity. Now that gives not only the dog some exercise, but it also gives children exercise, which I think is vital. I take my kids out and we walk the dogs together. We'll take a football, we'll have a kick about. It's a playing field, you know, that's what it's there for. It's for playing football, not for playing with your dogs. That's my belief. If the council get their way, I won't be able to do that. So who do I leave? Do I leave my kids or do I leave my dogs? Neither. I'd find somewhere that different. But it's hard, and it's hard for a lot of people. Not everyone drives. Not everyone has access to be able to go somewhere that isn't restricted or doesn't cost money to park. Thanks Wirral Borough Council for that as well. Roydon Park, Adder Park, all these parking places that you now have to pay to park. These all should be areas that are free to use. There's an obesity epidemic. What we should be doing is promoting getting outside with our dogs and being active. If these PSPOs go ahead, that's a thing of the past. Say no to the PSPO.